The headlines: Parliament approves storm funding for Dominica, arrest in St Philip Carnival murder, and Windies cricketer springs a plain surprise. Welcome to Nation News for Tuesday, December the 15th, 2015. Parliament has approved more than $2 million for Dominica, which was hit by Tropical Storm Erika in August. Prime Minister Frendel Stewart, who had previously announced the donation, said the money would go towards the country's recovery program. Mr. Stewart said the whole region was vulnerable and no one knew who would be next. He also gave an update on the global climate agreement, which was reached last week in Paris. Police have charged a teenager with murder in one of the two shooting deaths in St. Philip on Independence Day. It concerns the day's first fatality, Dwayne Burgess, who was providing security at the St. Philip Carnival. 18-year-old Hakeem Roberto Stewart of Shelburne Road, St. Lawrence, Christchurch, has now been charged with murder. The teenager was remanded to Dodds when he appeared before Chief Magistrate Pamela Beckles. Investigations are continuing into the death of the second man, Shane Nurse, who was shot on the fringes of the carnival. A $2 million daycare facility will be opened at UE at Cayfield next year. Jennifer Obaida, a campus dean, said students will get their children looked after while on campus, and the center will provide training for early childhood practitioners. Dr. Obaida was speaking at a signing ceremony for grant funding from the Caribbean Development Bank for research into general socialization and early childhood education. The university administrator also warned that old stereotypes are denying boys and girls opportunities to earn a living. Citing Belize, Dr. Obaida, the Dean of the Faculty of Humanities at Cayfield, said girls there might turn to prostitution if they are turned away from construction.
In Belize, parents still do not want their daughters to work in construction. Yet some of these same daughters may turn to tourist prostitution to help support their families. On the flip side, boys may be encouraged to place less emphasis on education and seek these types of jobs early. In the Turks and Caicos Islands, teenage pregnancy is to the detriment of the young girl who, even though there are no laws preventing her from remaining in school, will abandon her education because of social stigma, without recourse to other options through which to pursue further studies after the birth of her child. In Barbados, we worry about why more of our boys are not excelling in schools as we should. But few of us realize that by the time our academically gifted girls reach 4th and 5th forms, they tend to pull back academically because they don't want to appear smarter than the boys and thereby less attractive to them.
The new winter tourist season is underway. It began with what was called the Barbados A Come From Marketplace at Pelican Village, where the intention was to promote local goods and services and revitalize businesses at the craft center. 50 companies lined the Travers Way and others set up their tents to take advantage of the estimated 8,000 cruise passengers who disembarked the Royal Princess Orchestra and Jewel of the Seas. Entertainment was also provided. Up next is Hayden Gill with this week's commentary on the heartwarming story of tourism worker Derry Bailey.
The 2015 winter tourist season gets underway today in Barbados, and officials are anticipating a bumper season. But before we move forward, let's congratulate 28-year-old beach chair operator Derry Bailey. He found a pair of $2,000 prescription shades on the beach and waited over an hour to return them to the owners. Britain's Geraldine and Keith Telling were part of a ceremony to honor Bailey during last Wednesday's tourism parade. Bailey said this was something he did on a regular basis, and the value of the sunglasses was irrelevant because he knew they belonged to someone. This is the kind of service which sets Barbados apart as a tourist destination, and one of the main reasons why visitors keep coming back. It reminds us of the old slogan, tourism is our business and we all have a part to play.
In sport, Chris Gayle has surprised by saying he could return to playing Test cricket next year. Gayle has arrived in Australia not to join the hapless West Indies side, but on his latest stop on the T20 circuit. The 36-year-old, who had back surgery this year, was welcomed by a rather unflattering newspaper headline. It said, "Gale farce, the Windies saviour flies in to grab our big bash cash," read the back page headline in Sydney's Daily Telegraph, referring to the Big Bash tournament. Gale said he was simply not fit enough to take part in the ongoing series against Australia. And finally, police were able to shut down a home-based marijuana operation in Liverpool in England with the most unlikely help. They spotted more than 300 pigeons on a roof near the police station and noticed that it was the only one without any frost. It turns out a 43-year-old man was growing marijuana in the house, and the pigeons were attracted to the warmth thrown off by the hydroponic lamps used to cultivate the cannabis. The man is now assisting police with their investigations. And the pigeons, well, they have disappeared. And that's Nation News for Tuesday. For more news, log on to nationnews.com, as well as YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Remember to pick up your Midweek Nation on Wednesday or subscribe to our e-paper.